What's up, softball players? I'm Coach Dan Blewett. In today's video, we're going to talk about outfield throwing and the mechanics of making a spin move in a game where you can then spin with the ball over your shoulder and make a strong throw using that footwork. This is not really that advanced of a concept, but I don't see a lot of players practice it. It's something you see kind of rarely in games, especially in amateur softball and baseball. So stick around. This is going to be a great, easy tutorial for some outfield throwing mechanics work. Okay, so here I've got a pre-recording of me doing an outfield spin. So this is going to be a ball that's over my shoulder, of my glove side shoulder. I'm going to go back on it. I'm going to get camped underneath it, which obviously this is tougher at younger levels when players don't hit the ball as high and they don't hit it, they're not skying it into the outfield. But this is something that you can practice and we'll show you how. So when this is over my glove side, basically I'm just going to track it here and I'm going to get myself in a position where once I beat it, I'm starting to slow down. I'm starting to turn myself, getting prepped to make that throw before it hits my glove. So now I make it, I plant with my right, and I shuffle my feet and I throw. So as you can see here, I'm not taking actual fly balls. I'm getting my throw back. I'm then just gonna put it in my glove, act like I'm doing it. So again, when you watch me pretend that I'm doing this, I'm going back, and I'm starting to turn my feet. I'm starting to get corralled underneath it before the ball hits. So instead of catching it right here, I'm going to start to turn and try to catch it off to my glove side eye, my glove side ear, so that I'm already halfway there into my spin by the time I do catch it. And now it's a quick turn and I can either shuffle or not shuffle and fire off a good throw. Now, why do we want to do a spin? Because when we're going to our glove side, our chest is open to our target no matter what base it would be. So then it's a really tough all the way turn back to make our throw. But if I'm already going in that direction, a lot of times it's easier just to keep going with it, make a glove side turn. And when you make a glove side turn, now you're in a really good throwing position where you're closed off really easily. So you'll see outfielders do this selectively in both softball and baseball at higher levels, where they're just going to, they practice this stuff enough and they're athletic enough where they're just going to say, sometimes when I reach out, I'm going over my shoulder, I'm going sideways, and I catch it to my glove side, I am going to turn my chest back and make my throw. But other times, just depending on the fly ball and where it's hit and how fast they're running and all those different circumstances, sometimes they'll catch it and they'll spin to their glove side. You see this on the infield as well. Second baseman ranging towards first for a ground ball, and they have to make a throw to second. Sometimes they can plant their feet and they'll go this way. Other times, they'll scoop it and they'll spin and they'll throw on the outfield side of the infield. It just depends. But again, my big thing here, and the reason we're going over this is how you do this playing catch. So as a coach, your players should have a very productive game of catch every single day, working on game skills like these that they're going to use in the game later on. So most players don't do this. I've watched a bunch of Division I teams that have lazy, trash throwing routines. It's just the best way to put it, where they're just like, meh, playing catch, great. Well, most of you don't even throw that well, even though you're Division I players, so you're not getting any better. Whereas when you watch really good teams who are structured, who have a thoughtful coach who's really thinking, how can I help my players get better every time they interact with a softball, they're doing stuff like this where it's like, hey, let's work on the higher level stuff. Even though you might only make this throw once in a while or you've never made it before, let's make it easier. So now when you do it in a game, it's not that scary. Like you're on a run, you're like, hey, this one seems like maybe I should do a glove side turn. So you make your spin and you make a throw. You're like, hey, that was cool. That was easy. That was pedestrian. It wasn't a big deal. That only happens if you're doing this stuff in pregame and when you're playing catch before practice or just with your mom and dad, your friends, whatever. So this is how you do this. Put a ball in your glove, act these things out, whether you're a catcher, infielder, outfielder. Make your throwing routine, at least a chunk of it, structured so that's unstructured. There's tons of different ways an outfielder can throw, right? So if you're looking for more help on doing this, so if you're a coach and you want to say, okay, well, what should I give my team? My online course is revamped with all of these different types of throws. So check out the links in the description below for my new online course upgrades to She's Got a Cannon, both versions of it. And if you're a player, there's lots of other stuff on my YouTube channel. My online course is available for teams and individuals. But again, just be thoughtful. You don't need to pay me or anyone else. Just say, what do my kids do in a game? What do our catchers do? Okay, they make this type of throw, they make that type of throw. Okay, well, in that case, we should probably practice those as part of our throwing routine. All right. So hopefully this video on outfield throwing with the spin was helpful. Hopefully it says, hey, you know, rustle something loose in you to say, let's go practice that, right? There's higher level skills that you probably haven't practiced, but now's the time to go do them. I'm giving you permission, so go practice this stuff. It's not as hard as you think. It doesn't need to be left to 17, 18-year-olds. If you're 10, 11, 12, 13, you want to go do it, do it in a game, make a good throw. You've got my permission. All right. Thanks for watching. I'm Coach Dan Blewett, and I'll see you here in the next video.